22C Jayco Redhawk landing at our nest here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan, and this sweet little songbird is ideal for Larry Lunch Bucket and Jane's six-pack. If you're looking for something nice, something built right, but something simple that isn't necessarily going to break the bank, to you know, take some weekend trips a couple times a year, go to the races, do some fishing, something like that, this would be an ideal rig for you because it does everything that matters and nothing that doesn't. It has the industry's best warranty, the heaviest overhead cab weight rating. There's a lot of things that go into this, like the class-leading ride and handling package. So if you want something sharp, but not so large that you feel intimidated when you're going down the highway, this might be the one for you. And even though, like, it's very easy to just simply discredit this, say, oh, it's a little more simple basic, it's entry-level motorized or whatever. It's got a very creamy, classy, good-looking, good-feeling, solid interior. And it starts right from down here. This is a completely carpetless coach. All of our heating is run through the vents. It's a laminated floor. And one of the benefits of that in the motorized segment is it's just less noisy. There's not loose boards that are going to squeak and creak together, and that's part of the quietest riding, best handling Class C's on the market pledge that Jayco has here. I like these because they're 7 foot tall, so I don't feel cramped in here, and I can actually stand in the shower since I'm about 6'3". You can see that we've got a dual ducted air system to really pump airflow around, and in a little coach like this, that's awesome. And you might note too, they are not shy about just packing this thing full of lights. It has an aggressive lighting package, so it really lights up like a Christmas tree in here, and all of our main cabin lights are all in one switch. There's a separate switch for the lights in that overhead bunk cab area, as well as back in sort of the bedroom. Real quick note while I'm over here, you know, even just, I saw something shiny and I got distracted, like the cabinetry. It's got a beautiful sort of glow to it when the lights get a hold of it, but it doesn't look like waxy. It doesn't look chintz, you know? So, little simple things, because RVing is supposed to be about simple, fun, and easy, right? The King Jack antenna system here, all you have to do is turn it, and then hidden under that King decal right there, there's a series of LED indicator lights that will show you how much signal you're receiving, so you can make one channel scan and not have to, you know, scan and then turn and scan and turn your antenna a bunch of times, which is just annoying. One of the standout qualities on a Jayco Class C coach is the fact, well, any Jayco motorhome actually, they have 750-pound rated forward cab beds. I've seen as low as 250, although that hasn't been any time recent. I still, in somewhat recent times, have seen as low as 350 pounds. 500 is more common up here, and a lot of people will say, what, 500 pounds in that forward cab bed is not enough? And to be fair, I think it's sufficient. But I know that 100% of people will prefer the peace of mind of knowing you can put adults up here instead of just kids. They can toss and turn at night. You can also throw more cargo up here with that higher rating. So the 750-pound forward cab rating on this, I think, is a really big deal. Now you can see the sheet down here, the little privacy curtain kind of dancing. I've got the dash air conditioning blowing right now because it's warm and it's just taking the edge off in this little thing. And that's actually what's really impressive. Just the dash air is keeping me very comfortable because it is currently 92 degrees outside and rising, and it is currently 76 in here with just the dash air running, and I haven't had it on that long. I think that's a pretty cool, pretty handy feature right there. The Redhawk SE series is going to have a very basic cab area. It's very utilitarian. It gets done what it needs to, but they've done, just like the rest of the coach, just enough of the right things in the right places. Like you've got USB plugs and whatnot to be able to charge your phones going down the road. Like I use my phone as my GPS. I don't know that I would even use a motorhome's integrated GPS, although a motorhome GPS does allow you to plug in things like the height of your RV, but there's apps for things like that too. Our side mirrors over here, they are power adjustment, so it's very simple and easy. The one thing I like here, I think the Chevy chassis actually is a little bit bigger in the cab because, like, I'm a big tall dude, and these Redhawk SEs, I feel like my knees aren't up in my chest, not nearly in the way that they are on a lot of Ford chassis. So That's just kind of my experience. If you're a little bit smaller like my wife, you'd probably never notice the difference. I definitely have to have the seat all the way back, but I'm very comfortable doing it. The TV can pivot out for easy viewing, and that's one of the nice things here is you're not going to have to crank your head around. Now, this is very much like your only seating space in here is really the dinette, but this is not a coach made with the idea of going to a destination with 6 months and living in it. It's made with the idea of getting there and then going outside and enjoying the sights and scenes of the local offerings or whatever. You get the idea. Flipping us around and taking a look at the kitchen here. Not a large kitchen, but just like the rest of the coach, really efficient. They did good things like throwing a shelf in that overhead cabinet to double the storage. That is a convection microwave oven, by the way, so you can do some baking, but it cooks 25% faster and introduces 25% less heat into the RV. So, you know, nobody wants it hotter in here. That's an 8 cubic foot gas electric fridge freezer, by the way. And that recessed flush mount Suburban stovetop they're using, I think is ideal for an RV like this because it gives you some prep space that you really desperately need in a small coach. It wouldn't be hard maybe to throw a little flip up countertop extension leaf over on the side here, but just make sure you're not going to interfere with any of your buttons or outlets. But note too, nice hardware. Like, you've got that high-rise sprayer faucet, kitchen breeze window, and a nice stainless steel sink. You're not looking at cheap plastic entry-level stuff. This is what I call a starter class coach, but it's a quality built starter class coach. They're using good materials all the way through. Just instead of like fancy raised panel cabinet doors, we just have flat panel cabinet doors, stuff like that. And they put great drawer space in this little kitchen with a nice spot here for a wastebasket. From here we can look just across the way to the dining arrangement across that carpetless floor. But real quick, I want to point out the phone friendliness of this thing. Down below here there's household and USB plugs. They are very good about the fact that even though this is more of that simple series coach, it's still a full feature, full function coach. I also want to point out the fact that you're looking at 4 seat belts right here. Because in entry-level coaches, that's the kind of thing that you wouldn't find. They are not required to include these rear-facing seat belts over here. And notice that they have 2 seat belts per seat. Because you've got a master bed in the back that could sleep 2. Maybe you're a small family and you have 2 kids on that 750-pound rated forward-over cab bed. Don't you want to be able to have seat belts for everybody? Plus, you've got the dinette here. This can sleep 5. Well, you got 2 seat belts in the cab. You've got 4 seat belts here. It can literally sit more people than it can sleep. That's not a normal practice in the RV industry. Another cool Jayco safety thing, like they include an extra third brake light that they don't necessarily have to. But also, anytime you see a seat belt, they can't just throw these things in here willy-nilly. They are now under the auspices, basically, of government safety regulations, and they rate their seat belts to withstand 10% more stress than they are required to do. That's awesome. Your family safety is a big concern in a Jayco RV. Also, convenience, coming back into the equation here, you see that you have a no-leg dinette. It's what I like to call a no-knee knocker, because I got long legs, and it's tough for me to sit at a restaurant because I am always bashing into stuff. That's also an easy up-down dinette, so if you do want to convert that into a sleeper, very simple. And that huge window does have a privacy shade, but gives you an awesome view, both of the road and the destination. I tell you, between my 5th and 6th grade years in elementary school, I did some road tripping with my dad. And those are some of my favorite memories. Camping with my parents growing up, and that summer I spent on the road with my dad was just absolutely awesome. We had so much fun. I got really good at reading maps, which is almost useless nowadays unless you're Indiana Jones. But those are the kind of experiences I want to be able to give my kid. And that's the kind of experience that you can give your family in something like this. That big rear window is a welcome sight back here too. And you might notice how your headboard side breeze windows will also both open for airflow. Now there is a deceptively large overhead cabinet above that bed right there. And those twin lights, they are dual element. So if you tap them once, you get a cool blue reading light, which by the way, a blue colored light and blue spectrum light are 2 different things. They're not going to screw up your sleep patterns. I don't know that, you know, that's one of those things that Facebook doesn't do a good job describing to people. And you know how the bed here is in the slide, and it is a walk-around bed. In just a moment, I'm going to slide this closed so you can see what it looks like. But before I do that, I did want to whip around the corner here and take a look at this just ginormous closet they have around the bend. You can see how it's on the back side of that kitchen pantry. It provides some very welcome privacy to the rear bed area here, and it's huge. It's deep. You want to add extra shelf organizers or something in here, little cube organizers. You could really use that blank canvas space. But we have a couple dedicated dresser drawers in here as well, so you're not necessarily just stuck with this big open cabinet. You also, like I said, have a shockingly large amount of storage over the bed, which you can utilize in a number of different ways as well. But there's one more little Legend of Zelda hidden secret here, and that is if you flip the bottom of the bed up, you've got this big, large, like, storage chest. So if you've got extra dry goods or some big appliances that you don't need every day, you got a great spot here to keep that stuff available, but out of the way. And as promised, I wanted to show the slide out closed here. The bed does fold up, so you do lose utilization of the bed with the slide closed. But this thing is so small, it is very easy to find handy little out-of-the-way parking spaces where you could pop that slide open, because it's only about, what, 2 feet or something like that. It's an easy slide to find a place to use it. Little details here, by the way, just the simplest things, like Jayco's awesome about making sure their bathroom doors lock. That's the kind of thing you take for granted in an RV, but Jayco's very good about it. So as mentioned previously, it's a 7-foot tall interior, which means a lot of headroom for a big, tall goofball like me here in the bathroom area, specifically in that shower. You know, full skylight above for even more headroom and light. Plus you've got that sort of skylighting power vent fan and this huge window here, which of course does have a privacy shade. But have you noticed how tall that medicine cabinet is? It's absolutely enormous. You've got tons of room for, like, not just like toothbrushes and toothpaste, but like medications and blow dryers and shavers and all kinds of things. Even a stainless sink in here, and a foot flush stool on a little bit of a bias angle mount to always make sure you've got plenty of leg room or lots of room to get dressed when you do hop out of that extra tall shower. As mentioned previously, this does have the industry's best warranty within this class with Jayco's new 2+3 warranty. 2 years of peace of mind coverage, tip to tail, plus a 3-year structural rider that essentially anything that they build in-house is pretty much protected. I have not found another manufacturer that has this level of coverage on this level of product. The other thing that they do really well here is a class-leading ride and handling package, and I can get into all the specific details. Every bit of that is well published both on our Haylett RV site as well as Jayco's website, but long story short, I don't think I need to throw a bunch of things like Hellwig helper springs and stabilization bars and rubber jounce bouncers at you. Long story short, this is the best riding, best handling thing in its class and category. For the money, you will not find a motorhome that rides and handles better than this. And at the end of the day, I think that's all that matters. The warranty, you know, how can they provide additional coverage beyond everybody else? Well, maybe a little bit better engineering in certain places. Like a good example is this fully sleeving overhead cap right here. So the Dollar Cheaper down the street carries a lot of different varieties of motorhomes, and you know what? They carry nice motorhomes. I'm not knocking their product whatsoever, which shocks me because one of the things they like to say is, you don't want to go get a Jayco because you see that seam right there, if that cap falls off, your whole camper is going to be exposed to the weather. Well, first of all, I've yet to even know of a guy who heard of a dude whose cousin's sister's best friend's uncle's former roommate had that happen. Secondly, they're operating on false information. This sidewall sleeves under that cap. The whole cap slides on top of the construction in the wall. It's a full aluminum skeleton below that, and you see how all the seams are moved from areas of high stress to low or virtually no stress, so that pesky things like leaks and problems are not going to be things you're going to have to worry about. These will have an Onan 4000 generator standard. That's that little mesh door at the bottom middle below that big window that you're looking at, so that no matter where you're at, since this is a 30 amp rig, the 4000 generator will take care of anything and everything you need. The Redhawk 22C, this is the SE series, like simplified edition, if you want to think of it that way, if that helps you. This one is on a Chevy chassis. Most Class C motorhomes are on a Ford chassis. And I always mix this up, so pardon me. I believe the Chevy chassis is more horsepower, but less torque. So what that essentially means is this has a 5,000 pound tow rating, but you can get up to speed quicker and more easily and maintain that speed more easily because it's got a little more power behind the pedal, which is also nice if you have to shift into gear and you got to put the hammer down and merge into traffic on a unfamiliar on-ramp, this one will help you get there a little bit more quickly and easily. Obviously we have the, this is actually not just a backup camera, this is an in-motion observation camera. However, it points down pretty severely from the factory settings so that you can keep an eye if you have a boat, a trailer, a car, something behind you on your whole towing situation back here. They want to make sure that you can always keep an eye on your valuable stuff. Now, if you wanted to, you could adjust the set screws and you could point that out a little further behind you. So if you're going down the road and you've got some kid just got his license and they're, you know, texting or something like that, you can make sure that, you know, maybe they're not going to run into you and you can change lanes or whatever the case may be. You get the idea. You have better visibility of your campsite. So we've already seen the power awning, but a quick thing I want to point out back here before we jump up onto the roof is this handy gas grill quick connect. Now it's located directly under the awning arm, which I think is actually a very intelligent position for it, because what that means is if you want to do some grilling under the awning or not under the awning, you can do it either way. You've also got a power entry step here, which in this class and category there are a lot of manufacturers who have a recessed bucket step, and there's advantages to that. It's less expensive. There's one less thing you could theoretically say, well, there's one less thing to go wrong. I don't know about you though. I don't, I bought a car with power windows because I want to enjoy my easy power windows, not because I'm afraid they're going to break. It's just not a common thing having a motorized step fail like that. So having the power step, it's there when you need it, gone when you don't. It also means that the step well into the RV is far more shallow. So it is less likely that you'll, you know, not pay attention, slip, and roll your ankle inside a step well, which is very quickly going to ruin your camping trip. At a glance up here, she's a little bit plain, and pardon the footprints. We go over our RVs in depth before we accept them from the manufacturer. So we've already had our quality control agent up here checking all the seams and seals and making sure everything's on the up and up. Little details like the King Jack antenna system, you won't have to worry about cranking it up and down. You just turn where you want. There's a signal indicator inside, so you only have to do one channel scan and boom, you're going. Because the whole idea behind RVing is supposed to be simple, fun, and easy, right? So they're very heavy-handed with their sealants up here on this super solid laminated roof. But the big thing I want to point out, right as you walk up that ladder, you see right there, we've got roof solar prep. So this is a basic RV, but what's nice is they build it with the ability to add some really sharp things. Like if you want to go solar crazy, or if you want to add a hydraulic leveling system or something, it is all prepped and ready for that. Now, every RV is the best for a different reason. You can see that we are no strangers to a lot of RVs. This just happens to be parked over in our towable section right now. But whether it's hitching pieces, parts, trades, finance, truck and trailer package deals, RV delivery, and everything between, at Haylett RV, the only thing we don't do is hidden dealer fees. So if that sounds good to you, then give us a call, meet one of the folks up there in that building. We've got some great men and women working here, and we'd love to earn the opportunity to, well, hopefully we have earned the opportunity to earn your business. All we ask for is just a fair shake at it. Doesn't matter where you live. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.